Welcome
to
vlog 60. Here we are. You'll notice a theme this month.
You will. We'll talk more about it later.
But we thought we'd start with a joke. You ready, Carly?
Yep.
Oh, this is a pun to start with.
Okay.
I started jogging today. Just kidding. I exercised restraint instead. Another one?
Okay.
Why does Finland have the best runners in the world?
Why does Finland have the best runners in the world?
Because they always finish first.
What
That
is
turned into
that
German.
accent?
It was trying to be Swedish. Finish?
That was not Finnish.
No.
Welcome, Horizon Kids, to vlog number 60. So glad you're watching with us today.
Yep, so good. It's great to see you again. It is now the start of May.
Woo!
Is this summer now, Carly? Does
It's
this count?
almost
Does this
summer.
count? Not almost?
Yeah, it's not. Summer's not until June.
Okay.
But
It's close.
it's getting there. We
Getting
can see
very close.
We can see the horizon of the flowers blooming, and the days are so much longer. How great.
I do see horizontal flowers everywhere I look. You see the
No.
flowers on the horizon.
no.
Anyway,
Well, we're so glad that you're watching
We are.
today. Thanks for joining us. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe.
which side?
All the sides.
This side.
No, it's actually right in the center.
Is it in the center?
is,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. You checked?
Yeah.
Okay.
Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Give this video a thumbs up. Don't accidentally give the thumbs down, because that happens sometimes.
Ready? Thumbnail? 1, 2, 3.
And make sure that if you enjoy watching these videos, you're also letting your friends know that they should check out these videos too.
Totally.
It's such a great way to invite a friend to church right now. Super easy, because I'm sure most of your friends watch things on YouTube
Yep.
anyways, because like everyone does. And you can just say, hey, I have a really cool YouTube channel that you should check out. They post a video every single week, and it's super fun. And yeah, it's just a great way to tell other people about it.
What are we doing next, Carly?
We've got a few fun announcements
Yep.
that we're excited to tell you about. Coming up, we've got some Horizon Kids days. I don't know, what are we calling them? It's just called Horizon Kids, right?
Well, it's got to have party in it.
Horizon Kids Saturday parties.
Let's make it longer. Horizon Kids Saturday Party Extravaganza.
Saturday
Saturday Party
Partay.
Extravaganza. There you go.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
what it's called. On Saturdays, we're
Yep.
gonna be hanging out with you guys.
Yes.
We'd love to see you there.
If you are in Surrey or the Lower Mainland, we would love to see you. We're
Yeah.
doing a whole bunch of things. Tell us a bit more, Carly. What's coming up?
Well, starting on Saturday, May the 8th.
So next Saturday.
Yeah, the one
Yeah?
coming up. The next
This coming Saturday.
from today. Yeah. We will be hanging out with any of you who are age 3 to 6 years old.
Well, cool.
And we're just gonna have some fun,
Aw.
hang out together.
It's gonna be great to see them,
chat.
Carly.
It's gonna be so much fun. So this coming Saturday is for 3 to 6-year-olds. The Saturday after that, which is the 14th,
I think so.
that's when we'll be hanging out with anyone ages 6 to 9 years old.
Nice. Cool.
And same
then-
thing, we're gonna have some fun, hang out,
Nice.
do all that. And then the one after that, which is the 22nd,
Maybe? We think so.
it is.
Okay.
The
22nd.
22nd, we'll be hanging out with any of you who are ages 9 to 12 years old.
Nice.
And we're gonna hang out, have fun. That one is also a special invitation to our junior leaders.
Yes. We'll
But
be doing something a little different there.
Everyone's
So, it's super
invited,
fun.
but we'll have a bit of like a leadership kind of thing. Any of you who are junior leaders know how much fun our junior leadership days are.
Yep.
But those are the next 3 Saturday fun day party things that we're doing. and you're gonna wanna check them out. They're gonna be super fun. So tell your parents to go online, horizonfam.ca.
Where's the jingle? We used to have one in the summer. Do you remember?
Did?
I think so.
Make it up right now.
Me?
Yeah, you.
Oh, you put it in the camera. horizonfam.ca. No, I gotta do it again. You go. Give it a go.
Ready?
One,
no, you
two.
said you have to go again.
Okay.
Ready, set, go.
horizonfam.ca. Are we just gonna use that every time? We're just gonna cut to that clip.
Yeah.
horizonfam.ca. Just go to horizonfam.ca
to register for these Saturday fun days.
Nice.
And yeah, it's gonna be a great time. Well, it's time to go to our birthday shout-outs. We're excited.
We're excited. Always
to
excited.
Talk about some birthdays and celebrate some people today, this week. Who do we have first?
First off, we have Christy.
Christy.
One of our incredible leaders. Carly, why don't you tell us a little bit about Christy?
Christy is an amazing leader. Her and her husband Luke serve on our team, so I'm sure you know and love her. And we're just really excited to celebrate her birthday.
So exciting. Happy birthday, Christy. Awesome. Who's next, Carly?
Up, just turned 3. Happy birthday to Naomi.
Happy birthday, Naomi. We hope you have a great week. Or just had a great week.
Yep.
No,
And
party
Naomi's
week.
little brother.
Moses just turned 1 as well.
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Moses.
Happy first birthday, Moses.
So exciting. That's a good one.
Yeah.
I don't remember it, but I'm sure it's good. Okay, who's next, Carly?
Next up, turning 7.
Woo!
Happy birthday to Mia.
Happy birthday, Mia. And finally, we have Emmy, who's turning 4 this week. Happy birthday,
Emmy.
So exciting.
So good. Happy birthday to all those people we just mentioned. We love you. We're celebrating you. And if you know anyone that we just mentioned, make sure you call them up.
Yeah.
Send them a message. Make them feel really special on their birthday.
Do it. Well, we have something new and it's kind of fun.
We do.
All May long.
We do. It's so fun. It goes along with our theme for May. And we're really excited about it. So
Yeah. You get to see Jacob and Carly like you've never seen us before. Here we
Meek, are you ready for a run? Nope. I can make it slow motion. You don't have to run slow.
Just keep that bit. Well, here we are. Gonna start our month-long run. We're gonna run for the whole month, Carly.
Whole month.
A whole month. I wonder how many miles we'll do. But you know what? We should do some stretches to start with.
So here's something that you may or may not know about me and Jacob, is we like to run.
We do.
And this month's theme is all about running. It's about the Bible verse that Paul writes, which says, "Run towards the prize."
Yep.
I'll write it out so
It'll
that,
appear in there.
you know,
Yeah.
I can get it right. So we thought, what a fun opportunity to take you guys with us on our typical running routine. So we do this most days a week. We run.
Pretty often, yeah.
So we're pretty enthusiastic about
Enthused. Yep.
moving quickly with our legs.
But it's always good to warm up
It is.
and do some stretches
So
so
if
that you don't break anything.
If you're training for some longer distance running, you got to do a few things to prepare.
Okay, I'm gonna go behind the camera, Connie.
Okay.
What do we need to do to prepare? Okay.
A little bit of a confession.
Okay.
Jacob and I aren't super good at warming up every time we run. We kind of forget to do that,
Yeah.
but it is really important to stretch out your muscles before you go so you don't strain anything. A few stretches that you can do. Any suggestions for me, Jake?
The backwards 180 stretch.
Okay, we'll go with this. You're stretching out your
Leg.
muscles. Quads. Let's pretend I know things about muscle anatomy.
Nice. Yep. Okay, that's a good stretch.
Get those nice stretch. Then that's the front. So then you want to stretch.
That you stretch the front of your leg. Okay, now you stretch the bottom of your leg.
And you want to stretch the other side, so you can do a little bit of toe touching. Little toe touching action.
Yep. Nice. You're touching toes. Yep.
Get a good stretch there.
Yep.
Okay.
It's good.
Then you're gonna want to stretch your upper body.
Okay.
So you can do a little arm overhead
nice.
action.
Nice arm stretch.
Yep. Feel a nice stretch. Just
there.
there.
Yeah, just there.
Yep.
I can see it stretching.
And
just there again.
There.
Yeah.
You guys can do these stretches with me because it's Sunday morning. Why not start your week with a bit of stretching? Stretch out your arms a bit, so you put your hand on your back.
On the back, just whereabouts on the back, just there. Okay, nice.
Yeah.
Yep.
So technical.
Yep.
And
it's good.
Get the other side. Yeah.
Yep.
If you're particularly flexible, you can give this one a try. Try grabbing opposite hand.
Oh, what about that one where you turn your arms inside out?
I don't know what you're doing.
Like where you do that weird thing where you bend them.
It's not a stretch.
Just do it.
That's just a fun skill.
Okay, go on then. Do your weird arm stretch.
Ready?
Okay, yeah, so.
See if any of you guys can do this at home. This is my
Claim to fame. Third tier superpower.
My party trick. Okay?
Yep, like that. Whoa! Whoa!
Can you guys do that?
Yeah, do it again really fast.
I'm gonna mess my hair up.
Wow. Amazing.
You gotta have really nice.
You look pretty stretched out there, Carly. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm feeling stretched.
Feeling good?
Yep.
Okay, let's go and start this run then. Yeah? Okay. You wanna start? I'll follow you.
Okay, here we go.
Lead the way.
Well, that brings us to talk about our theme because it's a new month, which means
a new theme. You going over there?
Yeah. Well, I just wasn't expecting you to go that long.
Well, all month long, we're talking about 5K, run the race.
Run the race.
What are we talking about, Kelly?
Well, we're talking about running all month long because our life app for the month is commitment. Commitment means making a plan and putting it into practice.
Cool. And we have a Bible verse this month as well?
Yes, we do.
Awesome.
Our Bible verse for the month is found in 1 Timothy chapter 4, verse 8. And it says, training the body has some value, but being godly has value in every way. It promises help for the life you are now living and the life to come.
That's so good.
Yeah.
And today we're talking all about that, and our bottom line is keep practicing what matters most.
Yep, and we have a very special guest coming to speak to us today
So exciting.
about this bottom line, and that is
Vanessa!
I know there are so many out there who know and love Vanessa, so we're really excited to hear more from her as she talks to us about the start of this theme and tells us why we're talking about running and commitment and what the Bible has to say about it. So, let's check it out.
I'm Erica, and I'm training for a 5K race. As you can see, I've been training all day, so as my grandma would say, I'm a little glowy. If you've ever run a 5K, you know it takes a lot more than popping off a couch and putting your running shoes on, okay? It takes commitment. Commitment is making a plan and putting it into practice. And my plan is not just running around a lot. I mean, I've got to train in what I'm calling the 3 S's. Speed, strength, smarts. So there's running, yes, but I'm also working on my strength. And running takes a lot out of you. I just gotta take a second. Woo! I'm so tired. Your body's gonna wanna give up. Ow. But I'm going to train my brain to keep running the race no matter what. Like right now, my body is telling me not to eat this kale because it looks gross. But my brain tells me that kale is good for giving my body energy. So, here goes. Come on, brain! Eat! I can't do it! Maybe I can find some easier ways to train my brain. In today's story, the Apostle Paul wrote about training for a different kind of race. No kale involved. What? No!
The Bible. It's 66 books of history, stories, letters, and poetry that fit together to form God's one big story. The epic adventure of how He created us and loves us so much that He made a way to rescue us. As we travel through the Bible, from Genesis to Revelation, we discover people who met God and found their lives changed forever. Now, for an amazing story, inspired by the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 9, verses 24 through 25.
Did you know that some writers of the Bible talk sports? Well, not every sport, but at least one that you are familiar with. Yep, running. Running has been around ever since God created people. In fact, the Apostle Paul uses running as an example in one of his letters to the church in Corinth.
In a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. You know that, don't you? So run in a way that will get you the prize.
Now, Paul is talking about more here than just running, but first you have to understand what it takes to run a long race. Let's say you want to run a marathon. That's 26.2 miles. There's no way you can just hop up off the sofa where you've been playing video games for months and run that far. So, you need a plan. When I was preparing for my first marathon, I found this plan. I started training more than 4 months ahead of the race, and I started with just a few miles at a time. Once you've got a plan, well, then you gotta move. That means short runs, long runs, and cross-training to work other muscles and prevent injury. Next up, you've got to fuel. Plenty of water, of course. Plus, you need healthy carbs for your long runs like bananas. And maybe some spaghetti and meatballs. What's the last part of your training? Get ready for it. Rest. If you don't rest and let your body recover, you'll get burnt out or injured. The last few days before a marathon, you don't even run at all. Oh, yeah. Running a long race is no joke. But Paul says what we're doing right now, you and me, is even more important.
All who take part in the games train hard. They do it to get a crown that will not last. But we do it to get a crown that will last forever. So I do not run like someone who doesn't run toward the finish line. I do not fight like a boxer who hits nothing but air.
Paul packs a lot of weight into just a few sentences. Whether you planned it or not, we are all running a race right now. Okay, so that's a little crazy. Clearly, I'm standing here talking to you, and you aren't outside running laps either. But Paul is talking about a way of life, a journey. We're all focused on the finish line, life forever with Jesus, but in the meantime, every step along the way is important as we live out what matters most. Jesus reminded his followers,
Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul. Love him with all your mind. Love your neighbor as you love yourself.
Yep, love God, love others. That's what matters on this journey together. But just like you can't skip from jogging 1 lap around the school gym to running a 26.2-mile race, you're gonna need some practice.
Your Love God, Love Others marathon needs a training plan. Now, none of us have it all figured out, but here are 4 important things to start with. In fact, you may already be doing some of them. First point, hear.
God is the master teller of this amazing story. He's the author of this whole race, so the most important thing is learning to hear from God. That means digging into God's Word and hearing the stories and wisdom from people who walked with Him. And you can also hear from God from people around you in your life who know and follow Him.
Now, here's the second step in training for our Love God, Love Others marathon. Pray.
Okay, when you hear pray, you might think,
In nomine Patris et Filii et Spiritus Sancti.
Truth is, you don't need fancy words to pray. You can talk to God anytime, anywhere, about anything, just like talking to your mom or your best friend.
Now let's take a look at point 3 in our training plan. Talk.
Hello out there! Tell other people what God has been up to in your life, what's changing, how you're learning to love others better.
And here's the final point in your Love God, Love Others training plan. Live.
Live for God. Let His love fill up every part of your life, at home, at school, at church, even when your dad makes you stop reading your book to play a game with your little sister. Hear, pray, talk, live. That's how you practice loving God and loving others. As Paul wrote,
So run in a way that will get you the prize. We do it to get a crown that will last forever.
and when you do, you will live out Paul's wisdom to the Corinthians and win the race.
When the Apostle Paul wrote about running a race, it was about way more than a 5K. It was about life, because sometimes life can feel like a race. That's why we've got to train. We need to make a commitment to practice what matters most. Jesus taught that what matters most is to love God and love others. How do you do that? Well, you can start with these 4 words. Hear, pray, talk, and live. Hear. Hear from God. Pray. Pray to God. Talk. Talk about God. Live. Live for God. In the race of life, you can't always rely on your own strength. You'll need God's help and wisdom to keep running. It's not always going to be easy. You may even want to give up. But it's better to keep going, because loving God and loving others is the most important thing you will ever do. Here's the one thing to remember today. Keep practicing what matters most, loving God and loving others. This may come natural to you, or it may seem totally new. Whatever the case, just commit to training a little bit every day. It'll be good for you. I guess if I commit to training, I need to do what's good for me and try a little bit of kale. Hey, that's not bad. I feel more energetic already. Oh yeah, here we go. I'm ready, and I'm a fan of kale. Bye.
Hi Horizon Kids! For those who don't know me, my name is Vanessa, and I'm so happy to be able to talk to you today. This month, we're starting a brand new theme called 5K, Run the Race. And today, we're talking about training to win the prize. Here is something about me you probably didn't know. When I was little, I lived in Quebec, which is on the other side of Canada from British Columbia. In Quebec, we mostly only speak French, especially in the little villages like the one I lived in. So I only knew how to speak French for the first 14 years of my life. But when I was 14 years old, we moved to Ontario. Quebec and Ontario are both in Canada, and they are both beside each other. But I felt like I moved countries because the culture and the language was very different. I started English school for the first time when I was in grade 9, so I didn't know how to speak, understand, or even write in English at all. It was really scary and difficult. Each day I would go to school and have no idea what people were saying to me or how to do my assignments, and it was very discouraging. But each day I did my best, and I worked hard at trying to understand what these strange English words meant. I also worked really hard at pronouncing words that just sounded really funny to me. And each day, the more I practiced, the better I got. I couldn't tell from one day to the next my progress, but after about 9 months, I suddenly realized that when people talked to me, I understood what they were saying, and it wasn't as hard to express myself anymore. And then next year, I got even better. Because each day I worked hard at learning English, but while I was first learning, I did a lot of mistakes and I needed a lot of patience, so much practice, and I needed to remain committed to do my best. Maybe you can relate to this story because you, just like me, also had to learn a new language. Or maybe for you, learning math is very difficult and you need to work really hard each day to understand. Or maybe if you're a bit younger, it's trying to tie your shoes that's hard and you need to practice again and again. I'm sure everyone could come up with examples of something they're trying to learn that needs lots of practice. But what about practicing your faith in God? And if we can practice our faith, then what is the goal? Let's look at today's Bible passage. In a race, all the runners run, but only one gets the prize. You know that, don't you? So run in such a way that you will get the prize. All who take part in the games train hard. They do it to get a crown that will not last, but we do it to get a crown that will last forever. Paul is explaining to the church of Corinth that in the same way people train to run a race and have the goal of winning the prize, we need to train in our faith with a goal in mind. So, what is our goal in training in our faith? And what is this crown that will last forever? The goal is eternity with God, and the way we live our life now is important. We need to live out what matters most. Loving God and loving others is important. A bit more important than winning an earthly prize, like let's say winning at a video game or getting the highest mark in the class. Not that having fun or having good grades are not important, but just like winning an actual race, those prizes won't last forever. Winning your fancy trophy or having the best score is not the best goal. Paul was saying that we need to keep the important stuff important. We keep practicing what matters most. That is today's bottom line. So how do we get good at loving God and loving others? And what are ways we can practice our faith? Well, just like when we want to run a race, we plan, we exercise, we work on our endurance, we have a purpose in what we do, we need to plan to grow in our relationship with God. And it starts with 4 skills we can practice. Skill number 1 is hearing. We practice hearing what God says. God talks to us through His Word, through His Spirit, even through our dreams. God doesn't stop talking because we're sleeping. He speaks to us at all times. Skill number 2 is praying. We practice talking with God, and we can talk to God about everything or talk to Him at any time because God is always listening and He wants to hear what we have to say. Skill number 3 is talking. We practice talking to others about God. You can talk to your family or friends about what God is saying to you or what He's doing in your life. When I talk to my friends, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. I love sharing what God is doing in my life and what He's saying to me. Skill number 4 is living. When we practice living for God, we practice loving people and loving God. Our whole life is like a race we train for, worshiping God as we talk with Him, talk about Him, and live for Him. When you practice loving God and loving others, when you get a plan and you stick to it, and when you keep the important things important, you will start to live out what Paul was writing in his letter. You'll be running the race to win the prize, the eternal prize. Just like it was not always easy for me when I was trying to learn English, or it may not be easy for you as you learn in school, or maybe you're learning an instrument, living out our faith is also sometimes difficult. But we have to remember that God is with us the whole way, and we can trust Him no matter what. He's like our personal trainer or a personal teacher. Sometimes God puts us in certain situations because He wants to teach us something specific. Here is one great example of this from the Bible. There is this guy named Jonah. Maybe you've heard of him, but if you haven't, you should read his story because it's a really crazy story. You can read it in the Old Testament in the book of Jonah. Living obedience can be hard at first, just like sometimes you may not obey your parents the first time they tell you something. Sometimes we don't obey God the first time He tells us something. God told Jonah to go somewhere, but he decided not to obey and run the other way. And his disobedience led to him getting swallowed by a whale. Like I said, it's a really crazy story and you should read it. But don't worry, because Jonah was giving a second chance and the whale actually threw him up. He probably didn't really taste good. Just like Jonah, we can try again. God taught Jonah that he could trust Him no matter what, even inside a whale, because God was working out His plan for him and teaching him obedience. So how does practice help you? How does repeating things, working at them, trying, failing, learning, and trying them again helps? Even though some things are hard at first, practicing the 4 skills over and over each day helps us get better. Maybe you're new in your faith, or maybe you've had a relationship with Jesus for a long time. But training in our faith is something we do our whole life, no matter where we're at in our faith. I also never stop practicing how to hear, pray, talk, and live for God. So don't be discouraged when you make mistakes, or it seems like you're not growing. Because if you remain committed and you continue in your goal of growing in your faith, if you practice over and over in what matters most, you'll see results. And at the end, you will win a crown that will last forever. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, I pray that you be with all the Horizon kids and that you help them on their journey of getting to know you more and loving other people and loving you. I pray that you help them as they practice their skills of talking with you and about you and hearing you and living out for you. I just pray you be with them and you help them grow and not be discouraged, and also to remain focused on what's important. I pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Awesome. That was such a good message from Vanessa.
Good job, Vanessa.
Thank you, Vanessa, for coming and sharing that with us today. Such a cool story about her journey of her commitment to practicing when she was learning English. I'm sure there's some of you out there who can relate to that.
For sure.
It takes so much practice. It takes diligence and hard work and doing things wrong a lot until you get it right. And just like learning a sport, an instrument, any of those things, your faith takes practice as well. Your faith requires that same amount of commitment and effort and hard work and even making mistakes sometimes until you get it right.
Yeah, for sure.
So to help you guys start out this theme and continue it throughout the week, we have some questions that we would love for you to take and have some discussion time with your family, with your friends, and just keep the conversation going. So our first question for you to discuss is, what makes us feel like quitting something even though we know that it's important to keep practicing and get better at it?
Well, there's a few reasons there. Hey, Kai.
Yeah.
It's a good question to start us off with.
Yeah, I think we all find ourselves in those moments where
Absolutely.
even though we know how valuable it is, we just want to give up. So discuss that and discuss what it is that makes you want to give up in those moments.
Awesome. Well, our second question today is, what can you do or remember when you want to quit practicing something important?
So when you've answered the first question, talked about what it is that makes you want to quit, then you can discuss what can you do to get past that and keep going.
That's great.
And the third question is, how does practice help you? Right? So you've talked about why it is you want to quit sometimes, what you can do to stop yourself from wanting to quit, and then discuss why that's important. Why is practice going to be valuable?
Yep.
Why is that going to be the thing you need to
Yep.
get better at whatever it is you're practicing?
That's good, Colin.
Whether that is a skill or something at school, or your faith, you know, your prayer life, or how you worship, or anything like that.
That's great.
Yeah. So hopefully you guys can have some great discussions on that. We're really excited to continue digging into this theme. And as you saw, we both really enjoy running, so we're pretty pumped on this theme because of that as well.
Something that we can tie that in, hey?
Yeah, and
Cool.
it's such a great example of commitment
Yep.
and something that needs practice and that you need to just keep going with constantly. Otherwise, you lose all the work that you've done.
Yep. Awesome.
So we can't wait to continue this theme with you. Don't forget about our Saturday fun days. Check them out, horizonfam.ca, and we will see you
Next week.